There you see Boeheim's Army, the Syracuse alumni team, will try to take down overseas elite. With Fran Fraschilla, I'm Doug Sherman, and what we just saw in 2 overtimes, Fran, it's going to be hard to match.
That's what we call Charm City madness. And we had that grit and toughness and determination that fits this community. And look at this crowd. The second game should be the same way. Defending champion versus a team that's pretty good, Boeheim's Army.
All right, Overseas Elite has been in this TBT field 3 years running. They are now 17-0. Can anybody beat DJ Kennedy and his club?
Well, they're going to have to give it their best shot because DJ Kennedy is the most versatile player in this tournament. The former St. John Stars played in the NBA, played overseas, and he's got a pretty good running mate in former Arizona Wildcat Kyle Fogg. We saw one of the games for the ages in that great performance.
He is shooting this year 59% through the first 4 games of TBT beyond the arc.
That's why he's going to make a lot of money in China this year.
Meanwhile, Boeheim's Army played one of the historic games you will ever see at any level. Jim Boeheim said he's never seen a game like it before. Syracuse certainly had never done it before. They came back from 25 down to get to this point, and it was James Sutherland who led the way, Fran.
He was outstanding. Yep, he got caught fire in the second half. 21 of his 23 down the stretch when they needed him most. And he's what we thought. You know, he had a great summer league out in Las Vegas. But how about Eric Devendorf? Retired a year ago, Doug, to go back to Syracuse to become a strength coach, and he's been outstanding as well.
Yeah, he is averaging 18 points per game to lead Boeheim's Army here in TBT 2017. For more on Coach Boeheim's support of this year's club, we go over to Jen Hale.
Well, Doug, you know, Coach Jim Boeheim gives so much more than just his name to this alumni team. He is a huge supporter of theirs as well. He allows them to practice in the Syracuse facilities, the gym, and the weight room, and he watches the games, offers advice to Coach Blackwell. Last week, after that 25-point comeback, check out what Coach tweeted. It was a great tweet. He called it one of the best comebacks in Syracuse history, and then he added, I didn't even have to talk to the officials once. So you know he will be watching this evening. He's not here in person, but certainly in spirit, cheering on Boeheim's Army. Guys.
Well, you know he's watching. He's sitting waiting for his guys to do their thing.
Well, there's a lot of family tradition there, obviously, and Jim Boeheim's had an incredible career, and as you get to know some of these guys like we have through the years, they've grown up to be outstanding young men.
Well, thanks to the double overtime first semi, this game gets underway about 45 minutes late. It's going to be a late night of drama here in Charm City.
You're thinking 6 OTs maybe?
Well, Devendorf's ready.
Henrik Jackson.
Brandon Trish gets the start at the point for Boeheim's Army. He was also a key part of the comeback, and there is Devendorf into the lane, finishing southpaw.
And we'll see that 2-3 zone. Remember last week when we were in Brooklyn, Team Foe shredded it in the first half, and Ryan Blackwell made some really nice adjustments in the second half.
DeAndre Kane, the former Iowa State Cyclone, got challenged at the rim by Rick Jackson. Trish to Fair. You know, head coach Ryan Blackwell said after their quarterfinal game, we need more from C.J. Fair, and they've got 2 quick ones early.
Absolutely. Good transition defense out of the zone, the miss and the run out. And remember, this is we talked to Coach Curtin, and he told us the first time they've really seen a heavy dose of 2-3 zone in the 3 years. Now they do have shooters, Doug, but can they move the ball and get quality shots?
Kennedy fouled and will shoot 2. Yeah, 3-point shooting may wind up dictating this game. Overseas Elite as a team has made 47% of its shots in TBT this year, Fran. Yet they have taken the fewest number of threes. On the flip side, Boeheim's Army's put up 100 most and shooting only 32%.
Exactly, and I'm going to be really interested the first 5 minutes of the game to watch Overseas Elite's ball movement.
That foul was on Brandon Trish.
One thing you've seen from Syracuse through the years under Jim Boeheim is if a team finds an answer versus the zone, they will adjust take away that answer and force you to find another answer.
Kind of like an amoeba?
Yeah, I would say that. And just move their people around at different spots on the floor.
Trish for three. One of the other elements of this game is that Boeheim's Army has two natives of Baltimore in its starting lineup.
And don't forget Trevor Cooney from Delaware.
Devendorf makes it 6-1.
Yeah, this guy can still play. Gave up a pro career to go back to Syracuse. Spent some time with his daughters. I really enjoyed talking to him this year. I did 3 Syracuse games, and Eric Devendorf's really grown up. But he still has that fire.
Devendorf gets caught grabbing the jersey of DeJuan Blair, who will shoot two. Do you think this experience, again this year, third time in TBT, might have reignited the fire in Devendorf to maybe want to get back into pro ball?
I think there's a possibility, absolutely. Yep. He's got a great gig up at Syracuse.
Yep.
Give it up quick.
DeJuan Blair, the former Pitt Panthers All-American, makes his first free throw.
And we talked to Paris Horn yesterday, the former St. John's star, and he told us that he played against Devendorf in the Big East. And I said, "You're going to get into the trash talk stuff." He goes, "Oh no." He goes, we don't want to fuel that fire. He seems to play better when he gets animated and excited.
And overseas elite head coach Colin Curtin told his friend that he's not inclined to put Kane out there because it could turn into a rock fight between the two of them.
That's right.
Neither would back down. Trish.
That's an excellent start so far by Boeheim's Army. One thing we know about overseas elite, they have come back from big deficits during both championship runs.
Eric McCollum.
He may be the less famous of the two McCollum brothers, but not in TBT play. He is a star.
Devendorf, no, yeah. Eric McCollum is as good as anybody on this overseas elite team. He's a guy who in China this past year, Fran, averaged 37 points per game. Only Jimmer Fredette scored more in their league.
I saw Jimmer Fredette get 53 this year in Shanghai, as a matter of fact. And I think McCollum had 82 in a CBA game.
Wow.
Yep. Not last season,
Look
but
at DJ.
a few seasons ago.
Quick swing. Behind you.
Colin Curtin is a Niagara graduate who's an assistant at Hofstra University and for the third straight year serving as head coach for overseas elite. Blair.
Oh, yeah, that's the toughness. That's the toughness of a champion right there. And Paris Horn's not going to score a lot of points, but he is a energy guy.
Right, he takes very few shots,
Yep.
but he gets all the 50-50 balls.
Oh, no. 80-20.
Trish for three.
What do you notice about Trish?
No brace on that injured pinky. Now, yesterday in practice, Fran, Trish had it back on. He hadn't been practicing all week with it. He said to us yesterday he was going to go without it here today. And he has looked good so far. Jackson again doing a nice job clogging the middle. Fair, proactive, and earning a trip to the line. He said yesterday, I was passing up too many shots in the last round. I've got to go get mine.
Yeah, but that was a great example right there. That was a pro move right there. Spin, back down, and then once he got the defender to lean a little forward, he went up and under and drew the foul. Spent some time in the D-League with the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, signed by the Indiana Pacers, but now playing overseas. And, you know, we've said this so many times, but for viewers who are just watching for the first time, these guys are better players than they were in college because almost all of the guys you'll see tonight are playing professional basketball overseas.
And they're in their physical primes now. Most of these guys in their mid-late 20s with 4, 5, 6 years of professional experience under their belts.
Absolutely. Either one of these teams would beat a North Carolina or a Final Four team from this past season.
McCollum leaves Trish in his dust. Big rebound by Fair. Boy, he has come to his hometown with an agenda.
That's nice.
Kane picks the pocket of Jackson. And he'll wait for his teammates, or will he?
That's good no call.
Trish has numbers. Devendorf, lefty layup again. He's got a half a dozen.
Gotta like the way Syracuse has got out and run so far. One thing you love about the 2-3 zone, the guards are always high, so they're always ready to leak out.
McCollum for three. Fair. Called for the charge. Boy, McCollum did a great job of getting back there.
Absolutely. After the basket, he hustled back. Fair thought he could get out. And the young man from Canton, Ohio, played his college basketball at Goshen College in Indiana.
Where's that?
Up in northern Indiana.
An old NAIA program.
Yep.
He was a first-team All-American at the NAIA level.
He's one of those guys that you say, can he play in the NBA? The answer is yes, he can. Probably would be a role player, a bench player, but he makes way too much money to chance being a veteran minimum. Makes no sense.
His kid brother, meanwhile, averaged 23 points per game last season.
And he makes a lot of money.
Yeah, he does.
Signed a nice deal. NBA's most improved player this past season.
In 2016, and then he improved upon that in 2017. It's amazing. And his brother played at Lehigh again. Off the radar. Not big-time basketball in college. But that doesn't mean you can't get where you want to be.
No question.
Let's go over to Jen.
Well, Doug, Justin Burrell is making his entrance into this game. He has spent the last few minutes stretching on the sidelines because he's trying to shake off some jet lag. He went back to Japan this week where he plays his overseas ball, and he just returned to the U.S. yesterday. He told me he feels fine. Don't worry about the jet lag. He's used to working through it. He thinks he's still at a tip-top performance, tip-top shape for this game.
I got an idea, Jen. Just take a few of those Benjamin Franklins, let him sniff them a little bit, and he'll be ready to play.
I tell you, I've made that flight to Japan as an average-sized person. That's a long way. When you're 6'8", I can only imagine. Kane off the nice feed from Kennedy.
Now, about 10 years ago in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that happened a lot because Kane, Kennedy, and Blair were all high school teammates at the now defunct Shenley High School in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they led the Shenley Spartans to a state title in 2007, Fran. James Sutherland, the hero of the last game for Boeheim's Army, misses his first shot off the bench. John Gillen is also checked in for the boys in orange.
Fogg missed DJ Kennedy in the corner. DJ pining for that ball.
McCollum with the runner. Jackson again playing big, but with him coming out, Burrell able to sneak in.
I would say no jet lag.
Overseas elite with the lead, looking for a three-peat this season. Dante Green misfires, and here comes Kennedy, trying to extend the 8-0 run. And Jackson called for the foul. Well, this is game 2 of our doubleheader here on ESPN. One semifinal went to double overtime. What will happen here?
TBT is brought to you by Kaiser Permanente. Quality healthcare, affordable coverage.
Back in the city of Baltimore, Overseas Elite, the two-time defending TBT champs, on an 8-0 run to take a 2-0 lead, or 2-point lead rather, led by the offense of that man, Eric McCollum. Into the game, you see Deshante Riley, who was the key defensively in the big quarterfinal comeback for Boeheim's Army.
That's right, the Syracuse transfer to Eastern Michigan, where he was the MAC Defensive Player of the Year, was instrumental in just locking down Team Foe and tightening up that 2-3 zone, allowing this Boeheim's Army to advance to the semifinals.
Well, you know, 3 of the 4 semifinalists flew into Baltimore yesterday and came here to Coppin State and worked out, but the Boeheim's Army crew wanted to come a day early, so they flew in from Syracuse on Sunday, got a workout in here Sunday, then went to a meet and greet with alumni here in the city at, of course, Dinosaur Barbecue. Where else, if you're from Syracuse, do you go?
Absolutely. I didn't realize that's a chain now.
It's a 9-restaurant chain, from what I understand, and so they are trying to extend their stay, but on the wrong side of a big run by Overseas Elite. 10 straight points. And Boeheim's Army has seen its 6-point lead disappear pretty quickly.
One thing we've seen from Overseas Elite time and time again, they do not get rattled. The score is no indication. They've been down 20 already this year.
McCollum for 3.
How about that? Eric McCollum wanted 4.
Double figures already for him. It's 13 straight points. McCollum, Fran, a perfect 3 for 3 from distance. John Gillen off the bench snaps the run.
I like that. You know what you love about that? He's the youngest guy on the team. He just missed an open 3, and he didn't even bat an eyelash. Remember that great performance against NC State this year on the road, 43? How about this guy? Can he play or what?
First time Kyle Fogg has got into the scoring column tonight.
Look at that speed.
The youngest, freshest legs on the floor go end to end.
Remember, he was the graduate transfer from Colorado State. And yes, he was the guy that hit the shot that beat Duke at the Dome.
He called bank too.
Yeah, he banked it in right down the middle. That's big time. That's big time. You love Kyle Fogg because he's worked his way up the European ranks. He's going to make a lot of money in China this year.
Gillen drive and dish. Sutherland.
You know, you got to explain to people. I said earlier about this team could beat any of the Final Four teams this year. You look out on the court, these guys were all Americans in college, okay? You know, C.J. McCollum might have went to a small school, but he's proven himself. But guys like Devendorf and DeJuan Blair, these guys were all Americans in college. DeAndre Kane, this guy Fogg, boy, what a player he's become. John Gillen at a straight Jesuit high school in Houston, Texas. What a road he's traveled, Doug, huh?
Yeah, only 23 years old. He played 3 different Division I schools.
That's important that Dante Green gets it going because he slumped last weekend in New York 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, he missed all 8 of his 3-point shots in the quarterfinal. Long rebound comes to Trish. Tried to pass it to Riley, but turns it over. Reaching the midpoint of this first half, team fouls are resetting now.
Oh, good read by Trish. Nice job. Brandon Trish read McCollum's passing lane and jumped right through it.
And there you see the reset of the team fouls, one of the rules new this year in TBT. And we see Travis Bader coming into the game for the first time. Played only 8 minutes through 2 games in TBT this year, but we asked Colin Curtin during practice yesterday, you know, against this zone of Boeheim's Army, you're going to use Travis Bader more, and he said, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah, and we watched a shooting performance yesterday. The former Oakland Golden Grizzlies. He starred for my good friend Greg Campy up there. That could have been a foul.
Burrell knocked it up against the glass. The officials confer. And Boeheim's Army will keep. It didn't hit the rim, so 12 seconds remain on the shot clock.
These officials will let you play as long as you don't cause mayhem.
Sutherland. Riley doesn't shoot much, but he's got to go.
Oh, that's big. You're exactly right. He played this past season for the Salt Lake City Stars, and he averaged just maybe a bucket a game.
Trish got a hand on another pass. Vader has bodies flying on him, works around the double team. Fogg, though, couldn't connect. And boy, Brandon Trish is everywhere on the floor.
Numbers.
Kennedy has Fogg with him. Finds the trailer instead. Way off the mark for Oliver Lafayette, the former Houston Cougar. Now Fogg attacks. Boy, they sliced up the zone pretty good that time.
And they did it with two former teammates, because Lafayette and Fogg played this past season in the ACB, the beautiful part of Spain in Malaga. So they've worked together before.
Yeah, a lot of relationships here, formed overseas and in the States. We got 3 former high school teammates from Pittsburgh. We've got 3 former St. John's Johnnies as Sutherland connects.
Guys that have played together overseas, as you mentioned. And boy, James Sutherland, I watched him in the summer league and out in Las Vegas playing for the Utah Jazz. He had a good, solid summer, and they need his production tonight.
Well, he's 20 pounds lighter than he was last year for TBT. Ooh. The big hammer by Burrell.
And that was great ball movement that time. And again, Shenley to Shenley, the former high school teammates. And we saw Team Foe carve up this zone in the first half of that last meeting. Boeheim's Army, Ryan Blackwell, the coach, made a nice adjustment.
Lafayette going to get called for the foul.
Watch the ball movement, Doug. High-low, you can't do it any better than this. Oh boy, that's a good finish by Justin Burrell. St. John's is in the house.
Don't help on There's no room over here. We want it here and here.
Hold on.
Yeah, we got to stop that. No, but not off him.
Look, Chris and Sutherland said a straight switch here. Sutherland's going to pop.
Hey, you want to switch 1 through 4. Okay, listen, DJ, we're going to switch 1 through 4. Then we eliminate that. If he starts posting up and taking fadeaway jumpers, I think I'm okay with that, all right? All right, we'll adjust, okay? Down there, all we got to do, move the ball, move the ball. Yes.
Every look we want now.
Yeah. We're switching 1 through 4, okay? We're switching 1 through 4, okay? We're hitting the glass great, all right? Another thing is, way to be active down there.
Get down there.
Hey, no more.
You get that bitch in the middle.
No more plays. Stay in the middle.
Swing it high post. That's it. I know. After swing it.
And then pass it there. That's it.
Yeah, just the motion.
Get that zone moving. You make plays.
We got no answer.
Shot first. Set it from here, all right? Space out. All right. Let's go.
You want to switch 1 through 4. Okay, listen, DJ, we're going to switch 1 through 4. Then we eliminate that. If he starts posting up and taking fadeaway jumpers, I think I'm okay with that, all right? All right, we'll adjust, okay? Down there, all we got to do, move the ball, move the ball. Yes.
Every look we want now.
Yeah. We're switching 1 through 4, okay? We're switching 1 through 4, okay?
Now, one of the things you didn't hear in that timeout, but you see how calm Colin Curtin is. He said, forget the plays we put in yesterday. Just us make plays. And they put DJ Kennedy in the high post, and they're letting him operate. So no sneaky zone plays, just spread it out and get a guy in the middle who can facilitate. We've seen that the last couple of years.
Indeed, the versatility, Fran, for Overseas Elite. Not every team can switch all their screens, especially 1 through 4, and that's the plan right now.
It's a great point. And again, these guys are well coached overseas. They understand defensive coverages.
Burrell picks up the foul. Our Wednesday night baseball matchup this week is the series finale between the Indians and Red Sox at Fenway Park. 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app. Telecast presented by Hankook Tire.
I know where I'm going tomorrow.
You and I are going to be at Camden Yards checking out the Royals, one of the hot teams in the American League.
Exactly. We'll have this game on our
phones.
Yep.
Sutherland guarded by Bader. And you know Boeheim's Army wants to take advantage here. There's that step back shot that we heard Colin Curtin, the head coach for Overseas Elite, referencing during that huddle. And there's what you get at the other end from Bader.
Question. And that's DJ Kennedy running the show, rip and go, rebound and run, fill the lanes and spot up. This team shoots 47% behind the arc, and Travis Bader, what's he done in his career? He's only the all-time three-point shooter in NCAA history, trying to earn a little money tonight.
Yo, all starts down here. Once we get what we want down here,
wow.
we'll run it, all right?
They're doing it again.
Run a three-point line.
Play down here, man. Play down here.
Everybody can't be the hero, yo.
Pass the ball, move your body. Let's go.
Let's get the screen. Something, yo. Come on, man.
Overseas Elite with a 7-point lead. DJ Kennedy, perhaps the all-time greatest player in TBT history, getting it done.
Well, he's got 2 championships already and part of $3 million in cash, trying to make it 5. And you see that quick release from Travis Bader, who, as we mentioned, is the all-time leading three-point shot maker in NCAA history.
And talk about a list that he is atop. Number 2 is J.J. Redick. Number 9 is Steph Curry from his Davidson days. For Syracuse fans, Jerry McNamara is 14th all-time. And then we just saw John Diebler out of Ohio State. He's 25th all-time. They all pale in comparison to Bader. St. John's is back in the house, Fran.
Oh, yeah, and that's a great dime again by DJ Kennedy, just facilitating this offense right now.
Trevor Cooney into the game for Boeheim's Army. Well, we saw a 13-0 run for Overseas Elite earlier in the half. They're now on a 7-0 run and looking to add to it here. Fogg, though, took an extra step.
Wasn't able to get his feet set, but watch DJ Kennedy right here. He's pulling a Gretzky. He's going to get the steal. And then watch, Gretzky behind the net. Little finish in front. A one-timer.
St. John's to St. John's. Oh, you and I had this discussion with a number of TBT people the last couple of days. On this Overseas Elite team, there's Bader again. You could make the case that Kennedy's the guy and has been the guy the last 3 years while they win titles, but you could make cases for other guys too.
No, you're right. You know, obviously Kyle Fogg's 42 points last year in the semis.
Well, Thursday night, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, the championship game of the basketball tournament right here in Baltimore, Coppin State University. And it will be the winner-take-all $2 million game. And again, Fran, second place, you get nothing.
They get as much as we get, although I guess that's not true.
Well, you and I
get paid.
paychecks.
Yeah, we do get paid for this. That's right.
Not a bad deal.
How about if we had a winner-take-all, broadcasting contest?
Would you sign up for that?
Yeah, heck yeah.
You're confident in your abilities.
I'd be the
I'm with you.
underdog. I'd be the underdog. That's okay. Good hard foul right there. Speaking of Shenley High School, how about a high school that produced 2 NBA players? Juan Blair and DJ Kennedy.
Right.
Yeah. DeAndre Kane, the third member of that trio, been playing overseas.
We're in a city in Baltimore that knows all about a public school turning out multiple NBA players. How about the group from the early 80s at Dunbar High School?
Yeah, I'm holding a book right now, The Boys of Dunbar. My good buddy Alejandro Daños gave me a copy.
The Boys of Baltimore, 30 for 30 coming up on August the 8th on ESPN. Check that out. And a lot of the central figures in that drama are in and around Coppin State University this week. Chance for this city's basketball tradition to shine.
It's an amazing basketball tradition. The people in the Charm City, they'll tell you the greatest player ever was Skip Wise, who played at Clemson and brief period of time professionally. But then you got guys like Sam Cassell and certainly Muggsy Bogues, some of the guys that played on that great Dunbar team.
Rick Jackson on the putback.
How about Rudy Gay, right? Reggie Williams.
Did you mention Bootsy Thornton?
My guy from St. John's. Yep. Marvin Webster.
The human eraser.
But I got to tell you something. Can I tell you that we cheated? We have the greatest statistician in NBA history next to us, Marty Aronoff, and he just dropped Marvin Webster on us. So I cannot take credit for that one.
Right, you and I have been brainstorming for the last 3 days about this, and Marty sitting to our left just very calmly comes up with another one.
Yes, but I love this city because when I recruited here, I've told you this many times, Doug, these kids in Baltimore, they don't get the attention of DC and New York kids, and so they wear that chip on their shoulder well. This is a tough, gritty town.
A lot of proud basketball programs. Towson Catholic, Calvert Hall, where Juan Dixon went. Now the head coach of the men's team here at Coppin State. Bader. Boeheim's Army has closed out pretty well on him the last 2 times. And the boys in orange will get the ball back.
Well, this is a perfect city for the semifinals and the finals because it's grit, it's toughness, it's emotion, it's basketball. It's at its best, and the loser gets nothing. The winner gets $2 million on Thursday night.
TBT is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15%.
You dive back, Rick. If you can go right away, you have a one-on-one situation. Yep.
TBT is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Come up, Rick, go get him, and then you dive back, Rick. If you can go right away, you have a one-on-one situation. Yep, you're going to hit him right here, and then you roll back, dive down. You're coming off the curl. Fade it or curl it. If they're doing, when the action's here, that's when you can go right away, if you can go. Okay, let's go. Then do elbow next play, all right?
Well, at practice yesterday, both Coach Blackwell and that man, Brandon Trish, told us, Fran, the key in this game tonight is going to be assists, and that's going to be the big stats. Brandon Trish told us that. You see he's got 3 assists. His teammates, though, at this point have only 1 combined on 12 made field goals.
And for everything we talk about overseas elite and the offense and the transition, they know how to play defense, and they make it really tough for you. And Eric Devendorf's been pretty quiet so far.
And he loses that pass off his fingertips out of bounds. Nice sportsmanship there between Devo and Kennedy.
2 guys that went locked horns in the old Big East. There's that zone. And I'll say this, you know, Boeheim's Army's only down 5, and it feels like they're down 15.
It does. They have weathered a couple of extended runs by DJ Kennedy and company.
Well, he's the perfect guy to play in that high post. And it's the reason you don't need plays if you have good concepts versus that 2-3 zone.
And he's been taking what the defense gives him. He's got 4 assists. That was his first made field goal of the night, Frank. Well, after we wrap up here, don't miss Sports Center at night with Max Bretos and Nicole Briscoe. They'll have the NFL training camp news, all the best from Major League Baseball and everything else. Sports Center at night, also streaming live on the ESPN app.
And they'll have that double overtime thriller that we saw in the first game.
You might hear Fran Fraschilla net sound up, getting excited. Now that was fun. We have seen, you and I have been fortunate, the games we've had so far this year in TBT, they've really been memorable games, things that fans and players and certainly the broadcasters will remember for years to come.
What a summer it's been, you know. NBA Summer League was fabulous. The NBA was fabulous with the draft and the free agency. And to have it follow up with this tournament. ESPN televised every single game of this tournament on all of our platforms. Watch the ball movement, and you got to take away Kennedy now, so let's watch Rick Jackson in that high post.
It's exactly what you were talking about. And again, overseas elite handled it beautifully.
Well, let me tell you something. That wasn't bad defense on the interior. DeAndre Jefferson, former South Carolina Gamecock, made a very tough shot.
His first 2 points, Dante Green off the mark. And by the way, that was Kennedy's 5th assist. Again, working so effectively in the middle of that zone. Lob to the rim. Jefferson couldn't control it. And it's a turnover.
Yeah, Eric McCollum got a little greedy right there. That Jefferson slipping. He'll play basketball in Lebanon this year. Beautiful part of the world. My friends who played in Lebanon said before the wars there, it was like Miami Beach. It was like Miami.
Double dribble.
We have a microphone on Clarence Armstrong. He's one of the 3 officials along with Earl Walton and Jeff Anderson. Big time crew for this second semifinal. And if Clarence Armstrong gets going, Fran and I are just going to lay out and let him carry the whole broadcast. We've seen that and heard that before.
Emmy award-winning performance a year ago in the TBT. He's not only had to wear that microphone, he actually had to referee.
So who we're hearing is Ryan Blackwell, the head coach for Syracuse, the former Orangeman who graduated in 2000. Devendorf with a couple of free throws. And Boeheim's Army hanging around, down 5.
See how they're really starting to extend that zone. Look at that. That's it.
CJ Fair.
Yep. That's good adjustment right there. Jackson plays the hole, and the 2 forwards come out to the three-point line, and they make it tough on the perimeter guys. Good recognition by C.J. Fair.
Kennedy working on Jackson. Tough assignment for the big center, trying to keep Kennedy in front of him.
Yes, but nice adjustments. Now watch how far out C.J. Fair comes. He runs right through the passing lane. He probably did that about 100 times in his career.
Starting at City College High School right here in Baltimore.
Exactly. A terrific player. Was one of those rare guys that was all Big East and all ACC.
Right. Had a terrific long career in college at Syracuse. Second team All-American. DeAndre Kane, the no-look to Jefferson, and Jackson on the reach-in picks up the personal.
Perfect example of having a team of playmakers. It's not just Kennedy. DeAndre Kane can play as a passer. Obviously, McCollum can. And if you can get the big man behind the zone, you're going to find a chance to score.
Scoreboard just went out overhead, but the clocks on the baselines and above the baskets are still running. It's 40-36, overseas elite.
And here comes the track TBT crew led by Rob Kennedy. Over by us because there's a wire.
And voila. Well, we had it for a minute. Now it's gone again.
It's a TV timeout.
Now the reality is, Fran, we could play without the overhead scoreboard.
Right.
As long as both baskets scoreboards are working, or clocks rather. Well, now they're out.
Well, I'm not an electrician, but I know that they were having trouble when these wires to our right move a little bit. The scoreboard goes out. By the way, beautiful place.
Oh.
Coppin State. New coach Juan Dixon, former Maryland star, national champion.
Yeah. This building's only 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah. In the MEAC. Of course, they were well coached for many years by the legendary Fang Mitchell.
Well, this program at Coppin State won an NAIA national championship back in 1976, eventually transitioned up to D1, and they've been to the big dance 4 times, as recently as 2008.
And I know our guy Marty Aronoff remembers when Joe Pace played for the Coppin State Eagles, because he later played for the Baltimore Bullets and won a championship. He was on that team, 77-78, I believe.
Well, the Bullets by that time had moved to Landover. Baltimore was a decade-long host for an NBA franchise, and Mr. Pace is number 44 from Coppin State. Hangs from the rafters.
Hall of Famer.
There he is.
He's graced us tonight.
The man who invented the profession.
Yes.
We appreciate him being here, no doubt.
We are among, we're probably in the bottom part of the 1,000 play-by-play guy and analysts he's worked with. Think about that.
Just this week.
Yeah.
Well, while they work on the clock, we give you a chance. You know, if you're flipping channels and you go by, you can pretty quickly figure out who Boeheim's Army is. But who is this overseas elite team? Well, they're the best team in TBT history. They're a combination of guys who played high school ball together, college ball together, overseas together, and they play very well in TBT together, looking for a three-peat this year. Let's go back over to Jen.
Doug, they most certainly are. And when you ask Colin Curtin what has been the secret to their success over the long term, he tells me, you know, true, they are all stars in their own right, especially on their respective overseas teams. But he said all of them share the ball, play for each other, and play unselfishly, despite their status. And it's showing tonight again on the court.
Well, and it's shown 17 straight times, Doug Sherman, hasn't it?
They have never tasted defeat in TBT competition. They were not in the original field back in 2014, but since getting this team together in 2015, 17-0, and up 5 here late in the first half. Dante Green will head to the line. You know, as we reminisce a little bit about professional basketball in this city, the 10 years they had the NBA with the old Baltimore Bullets. think about the talent. They have Wes Unseld, NBA MVP, Hall of Famer,
yes.
and Earl the Pearl Monroe, another Hall of Famer.
How about this? How about Earl Monroe? How about Archie Clark? How about Jack Marin? How about Gus Johnson? Right?
Pretty good stuff.
Wes Unseld. A guy named Stan Love was on the team.
Yep.
And he produced a son by the name of Kevin Wesley Love. And they were coached by a guy named Gene Shue.
Deep three by McCollum. He's yet to miss from there. He's just extending outside the zone. 1 minute to go in the half. C.J. Fair going strong to his left hand.
I'll tell you, as well as Overseas Elite has played, and I said this earlier, it feels like they should be up more than 4 points.
Well, one of the neat signatures of this year's uniform for Overseas Elite, they've got gold, and they have 2 championship trophies on their shoulders above their name to signify the 2 championships they've gotten. This is championship stock, and they know how to handle any adversity. Second round against the Matadors. They found themselves down 16 points, came back to win.
Yeah, don't forget this Boeheim's Army team. We saw an amazing comeback of their own right. Down 25 in the second half to Team Foe.
Final 10 seconds, 2 on the shot clock. Foggs unable to connect. 3 seconds. Fair has time, but can't get off the shot. Well, Overseas Elite shoots better than 50% in the first half, but Ryan Blackwell's club heads to the locker room down only 4. Well, it was Pat Riley, the great coach of the LA Lakers and the Knicks and the Heat, who coined the phrase three-peat. This Overseas Elite team knows all about three-peat, trying to get it done here. This year, we go over to Jen with the man who's in charge of the program.
Indeed, here with Coach Colin Curtin. Coach, you haven't seemed to have any problem handling that zone defense from the Syracuse team. What's been the key?
You know what, we're really getting that ball to the high post with DJ Kennedy and letting him work a little bit. Our whole thing was, you know, let's beat them inside and then out. And I think we're doing that. I think we're enabling ourselves to get some easy shots inside, which then will open up the zone a little bit, and we'll be able to get some shots from 3.
DJ has been awesome at dropping dimes, not so much at scoring. Are you pleased with what he's done in this game, or do you want to get him more involved next half?
No, he's doing everything he needs to do. He's a complete player. He can dribble, pass, and shoot, and we're really comfortable with him at the high post, and we feel like he can make him play, whether scoring it or making it for another person.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck next half.
Thank you so much.
Guys.
Thank you, Jen. Coach Curtin's club had a 13-0 run, stretched the lead out to 9. You felt like they might really get some separation, but Boeheim's Army's hanging.
No, they have, and we know that they're resilient as well, because we saw for ourselves that amazing 40-10 run in the second half against Team Foe. So if I'm Ryan Blackwell, I'm pleased that Overseas Elite has made shots against the zone, but they haven't been able to stretch the lead.
Team Challenge ALS is already on to the TBT championship game Thursday. Nothing decided yet here in semifinal number 2. We're at halftime. Overseas Elite up 4 on Boeheim's Army.
job, y'all.
Good job, fellas.
Four-point game here in Baltimore as Boeheim's Army battles the defending two-time champions overseas elite. Some tremendous basketball action throughout the basketball tournament. It's just been phenomenal to watch. And it started earlier tonight with an absolute brawl in overtime, actually a double overtime battle. This is the last shot of regulation. David Lighty doing their best to put this one away, but nope, we're going to not one, but two overtime periods. Kevin Pickney right here will score for Team Challenge ALS, but William Buford and the Scarlet and Gray battled back with that three-point shot. They went punch for punch, last shot of the period. So now it's another round of OT, another 4-minute battle for $2 million. Austin Day may have fouled out of the game, but he certainly made his presence known, as did Casper Ware, who was absolutely clutch for Team Challenge ALS. Teardrop there. He was dropping dimes, playing defense, and calmly running this ALS team the entire game. Watch this last shot. Oh, Team ALS ices this one, and they move on to Thursday's finals. They have a shot at the $2 million prize after an 88-83 win. And this second game has been no shortage of high-flying action as well. Syracuse's zone defense versus Team Overseas Elite and Eric McCullum, who has been absolutely clutch for this squad. 13 points for Eric so far. 4 of 5 from the field and a perfect 4 for 4 from the perimeter. That's what Overseas Elite does. They can beat you from beyond the arc, and that's what you got to really do to stretch this Syracuse zone defense. It is a fantastic atmosphere here. You know those Boeheim Army fans are going to turn out and be loud, so keep it right here on ESPN for a lot more action.
Girl, boy. She looking at you? Yeah. Hey, look!
$1 million. They hang on. Taking home the cash. $1 million. They hang on.
Overseas Elite take home the $2 million prize for 2016 TBT.
Well, who's going to win $2 million this year? Well, we know Team Challenge ALS has a shot on Thursday night. We still have yet to figure out who between these two teams is going to advance.
Yeah, and we're going to have another 18 minutes before we decide it, because I thought Overseas Elite did a really good job against the zone. They're 6 of 12. DJ Kennedy has been a great facilitator, but they're only up 4. And if you're Ryan Blackwell's Boeheim's Army, let's get some other guys going. Dante Green needs to make some shots. We saw James Sutherland catch fire in the last game we did. So a little more balance, a little more balanced scoring from Boeheim's Army. And I think they're in pretty good shape based on where they are.
Well, Jen is with Coach Blackwell now.
I am indeed. Coach, you managed to weather several runs by Overseas Elite in that first half, and you're only down by 4. How did you do that?
Well, McCollum hit some big shots. He's 4 for 4. We have to find him running off the line. I mean, our offense is good when we're moving the ball and setting screens. We get stagnant and go one-on-one. That's why we have 4 assists. Better job of getting more movement on offense. Defensively, we have to find the shooters. Ball goes to the high post. We can't lose sight and awareness of the guys on the baseline.
You've been talking about moving the ball yesterday, again at halftime. How do you get that ball moving this half?
We've got to get the guys in the game that are willing to do that, to set the, the screen or make the extra pass, because that's the only way we're going to win.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Doug?
Jen, yeah, only 4 assists on 14 made field goals for Boeheim's Army, but keep in mind, in their last game, they were stuck in the mud in the first half, well into the second half, and then the light went on and everything worked.
It was truly a tale of 2 halves. They played much better tonight in this first half, but on the other hand, Overseas Elite can be explosive.
Yeah, they're playing a much better opponent tonight than they were the last time out. Overseas Elite has never lost a game in TBT in 3 years. Looking to go to 18-0 and reach the final for $2 million. DeAndre Kane and the fouls on Rick Jackson.
So what you want to watch now is what adjustments is Boeheim's Army making in the zone. If they're going to extend the zone like they just did, we saw Dante Green come way out. Eric McCollum just drove him. He got by him easily, and then he found DeAndre Kane, who was able to get to the basket. One of the things you do against the zone is you find a guy that you can actually create a mismatch with and drive him. And that's exactly what Eric McCollum did with Dante Green on that possession.
Fran, that foul on Rick Jackson is his 4th. Takes 6 to foul out in TBT. And DeAndre Kane continues to make one, miss one at the line, which is all he's done in TBT this year. Trish went down. McCollum whistled for the foul.
Eric was a little overzealous from the start of that possession, and Trish did a good job of just driving him back.
Well, you may notice the people in orange around this arena are still standing and clapping. That's what they do at the Carrier Dome each half until their quote-unquote home team scores a field goal. Free throw doesn't sit them down, only a made bucket.
Oh, tough shot.
That's not going to get it done.
No, great defense by Kane.
Along the baseline, kick it back out McCollum. He's got that kind of range. Not on that one, though. Devendorf does a nice job to avoid the travel. Pushing against Kennedy.
Oh, yeah. He got game. He still has game. He may hit a shot at the end of this game and jump up on the scorer's table.
Well, just like he did at the Garden in the Big East tournament. The most memorable shot in Syracuse basketball history that didn't count.
Kind of like the greatest comeback in Syracuse history that didn't happen in Syracuse. It was TBT.
A 25-point come-from-behind win to get to this semifinal. Here goes Devendorf attacking again. Boy, he has made an art form out of this. Now he's grabbing for his right ankle. Went down hard, stepped on somebody. But you don't score 1,700 points in college without knowing what you're doing going in against the big boys, and this is what he does, attack.
He's going to draw contact. He steps through with the little Euro move. Make sure there's body contact that you see from behind. Who's that, Dwan Blair?
We got two, gentlemen.
Well, Devendorf appears to be okay to shoot the free throws. He's perfect 4 for 4 tonight. You know, his coach and mentor, Jim Boeheim, who has hired Devendorf back onto his staff, says in watching TBT this summer, he doesn't know if Eric has ever played better than he is right now.
Oh, I don't think there's any question. And I know there's some teams overseas taking a long look at him. And he's matured. Not that he's I didn't know him well when he played, but I know from talking to him this last year that he feels like he has, and certainly going back to Syracuse really helped him see basketball from a different light, the coaching side.
Green, offensive foul. Boy, overseas elite has done a nice job to keep the former first-round draft pick in check.
Yeah, they sure have. And as we say that, they're only up 1 point, you know, so give the Boeheim's Army credit.
Dante Green from Towson Catholic High School in Baltimore said to us yesterday he expected to have 50 family and friends in attendance here tonight.
Well, and his high school coach, Mike Daniel, is a good friend. I saw him earlier today. That was goaltending. Looked like it anyway.
Trish. You know, there's another pretty good product of Towson Catholic basketball, known for being a Syracuse basketball player. He might be in the building on Thursday. In fact, he's supposed to be. Carmelo Anthony. He is the host, the de facto host of the semis and finals here in his hometown.
Yep, and I've said it before, Charm City basketball, there's nothing like it. The competitiveness, great high school coaching through the years. The Catholic League right now has got some great players and coaches. My buddy Pat Clatchy over at Mount St. Joe's does a great job. St. Francis always really good.
How about that guy?
Yeah.
Head coach at Coppin State here.
He wasn't bad.
2002 national champion at the University of Maryland.
This should be a gold mine in the MEAC. Because of the facility, because of the proximity to players. Nice drop off.
Blair didn't leave the ground, but didn't need to.
Could have slipped a piece of paper under those Nikes. Barely. One slot, one piece, not two.
There
he is. Devo.
That time he was chirping at the official looking for a call.
Just trying to get himself going.
Well, we were told yesterday by everybody on the Overseas Elite roster from head coach Colin Curtin on down, we don't want to engage Devendorf because that's what gets him going. How about Blair with consecutive buckets? I don't think he left the ground once.
That's the old man YMCA move right there. That's the 55-year-old former high school star move right there, still fouling at the Y.
Well, he grew up in the Hill District in the shadow of the University of Pittsburgh. He and his buddies are still getting it done. Paris Horn off the turnover. And a quick timeout called by Ryan Blackwell.
This is great. Hey, kids, you don't need to be athletic. Take a look right here. No offense, Dewan, you've been pretty good in your career, but and Devo going to work. And one of the Big East's best players in the 2000s, Dewan Blair, getting it done. And we love the way Paris Horn plays, Doug.
He's not hunting shots. He's just getting buckets when they come to him and playing the rest of the game the way it should be.
CJ, okay, let's go. You go right away if you want.
There's Dewan Blair. We talk about his connection to Shenley High School. His parents both played basketball at Shenley back in the day, and both he and Kane are legacies of that wonderful program that is no more.
Let's go.
They, along with DJ Kennedy, teamed up. Kennedy and Blair were classmates, Kane a year behind, so Kennedy and Blair both graduated in 07, Kane the year after, and then they shut down the school in the summer of 08. CJ Fair. So out of the timeout, Boeheim's Army gets an easy bucket.
Exactly, you get it out in transition and go. CJ's been at his best tonight in transition.
Trish knocks it out of bounds, off of Kane. And here comes the former Jamesville DeWitt star. Whistling a foul off the ball.
Well, DeAndre Kane did not think he touched the basketball. Let's take a look right here. Hard to tell from that angle.
Well, if he didn't, Trish did a great job of selling it.
Absolutely, and that's what you're supposed to do. Just point in the other direction.
Yep.
It's just good basketball gamesmanship right there. Just point and start walking.
Trish runs into contact, and now he's called for the foul. Kane gets the call this time. Trish doesn't.
And they don't like it at the Dome. I mean, Coppin State.
We could put a bubble over top of this place, and it would feel like the Carrier Dome. Well, they had a meet and greet with the Rapid alumni base here in the Baltimore, D.C. area on Sunday night. And they're hoping to keep the party going on to Thursday night's championship game. But if they're going to do it, they've got to take down the class of the field.
Look how high now those forwards will come out. Fair, Sutherland. Oh, you can't give him that. No. These are pros. Can't give him that open shot.
5 quick points for Paris Horn. The lead stretches back to 6. Trish from way downtown.
Great execution. Little Horns action, flare screen. And Trish obviously feeling a lot better than he did in Brooklyn. And he had that issue with his pinky.
Tough spacing. Blair gets off another one of those little push shots. And another offensive rebound for Overseas Elite.
Got some Big East guys that have played against the zone before, including Blair, Burrell, Horn.
And how about that? From that high post against the zone, just carving it up. Well, Fran, on Thursday, as we've been talking about, 7 o'clock right here on ESPN, we will have the basketball tournament championship game for $2 million. Somebody's going to walk out of the gym here at Coppin State University with a lot of cash, and the loser of that game will have empty pockets. They get nothing.
Well, the winner of tonight's game will put their name right besides Challenge ALS. And one thing I'm going to really not be looking forward to Thursday night is going back to the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Where both teams will be staying, and one will be exhilarated and the other will be in depression.
Well, there have been 61 teams already eliminated from the field. No over and back. That ball was deflected by Kane. Now Sutherland, who was the catalyst on the offensive end 9 days ago, can't get it done there. Kennedy's bottled up and uses a timeout. Devendorf and Sutherland had him trapped pretty well. We'll step away with 11:59 remaining in regulation. Overseas Elite up 4 with a lot of cash on the line.
TBT is brought to you by the new movie The Foreigner, starring Jackie Chan, in theaters October 13th.
All right, listen up, focus here. Out of bounds play, okay? We're gonna spread these guys out, all right? Someone's gonna have to come out to you. So listen what we're gonna do here. E, you're gonna post up in the corner. Throw the ball to JJ, or Justin. Justin, swing, swing, swing. E, you go to this corner. The 5-man is either gonna have to come out or you're gonna have an open shot, all right? Now, if they cut this pass, DJ, you're going. All right, we're just playing basketball now, okay? All right, we're good?
Keep it simple. You know, let the players make plays. Nothing fancy about that little play. They're going to run Eric McComb along the baseline and try to spread that zone out. Let's see if they can get it done.
And with a playmaker like DJ Kennedy, everything's possible. Here he goes again. Back out to Kane. Dante Green has the ball come down to him. This is Devendorf. Now we talked about the disparity between these two teams shooting the basketball from the perimeter as Green stays stone cold. Boeheim's Army only 4 of 13 for three-pointers. Overseas Elite, meanwhile, hit 50%. Here they go again. And Devendorf commits the foul that'll send Horn to the line for 3.
There's the unselfishness that we keep talking about. Great drive by McCollum. And the ball, when he kicked it out to DeAndre Kane, was in his hands a split second. He got rid of it right away. There's the drive. Watch the kick out. And boom. And the foul.
You know, we talked about all the cash on the line, $2 million that this team won a year ago. They won $1 million 2 years ago for winning TBT. They have incorporated on their logo. You got to look for it real carefully, and I don't know if we'll be able to see it on TV, but there is a $ incorporated into the middle of that logo. It looks like a globe, and it is a globe, but it also has a $ in there for Overseas Elite.
Why not?
Why not?
$3 million so far and counting.
Yeah.
These guys are, you know, I can't tell you I know everything about their finances, but we've talked to these guys enough to know that a lot of these guys are putting that money away. They're putting it to good use, saving it for a rainy day.
Yeah, Paris Horn at the line says he's planning on putting it into savings again and also investing in real estate in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
In Philadelphia, sure.
He's got some apartments.
Hey, can you see the dollar sign in the middle there? The white dollar sign? Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah, yes. I need my glasses, but.
You want mine?
Nope.
There it is. That's a nice tight look.
Yeah,
you can see the dollar sign kind of hidden in there.
Well, to you made the point earlier. How about all the uniforms? I mean, is this not a first-class tournament? It's
Very
unbelievable.
Cool. Over the last 3 years, they have tweaked the uniform look for each of these two teams. Boeheim's Army's team this year wearing the 03 look for the Syracuse Orangeman team, and of course won the national title.
Let me tell you something. DeAndre Kane said, "No way, buddy." He is shutting down Dante Green right now.
Sutherland the last to touch. Overseas elite will keep on the baseline.
He's got him in a straitjacket.
Let's go over to Jen.
Doug, one of the main points Boeheim's Army talked about in the locker room at halftime was slowing down Eric McCollum. They really wanted to key in on him and make things more difficult, and they are succeeding. He has not scored a point so far in this second half. He's only taken 2 attempts, one from the field, one from beyond the perimeter. So Boeheim's Army has that going for it right now. We'll see if they can translate that into a lead at all.
That's a great point, Jen. And yet, sometimes when you stop a guy like Eric McCollum with that zone, it opens up other players to get going. And there's what Jen pointed out. 13 first half points. I think the offense has still been moving pretty well.
Right, and you know, you've talked, Fran, for years about the unselfish nature of this format, that you don't see hero ball, certainly at the highest levels, in TBT.
That's exactly right, and even Kyle Fogg has been quiet tonight. And we know he can heat up.
You see the trophies on the back of those uniforms for having won 2 TBT titles. They would love nothing more than to get a three-peat. Burrell gets 1 out of 2.
Hey, don't gamble, don't gamble, don't gamble.
Boeheim's Army has not led since the first half. They have cut it down to 1 at one point. They were down 47-46 a few minutes ago. John Gillen gets tripped. Kennedy's going to be called for the foul.
John Gillen's speed has been a factor tonight when he's been in there. Youngest player on this team. Late addition, in fact. I think they thought they were going to have Scoop Jardine for a while, and Scoop wasn't able to make it. They enlisted the young guy that played his 5th year for Jim Boeheim this past season.
And he's hoping to parlay this exposure into an opportunity overseas. Fair had to catch it and release it, or else it would have been an over and back. There's McCollum with 2 bodies flying at him, just like Jen said. Sutherland. You know, his rebounding has been as important as anything for Boeheim's Army here in TBT this year. Gillen, Sutherland, and he throws it down.
Very subtle, but that whole defensive stop at the other end was because Deshante Riley challenged that corner 3. And if they watch film tonight, which they'll do if they win, they'll notice it.
Well, this was the formula that got him that incredible win 9 days ago. Having Riley out there, having Gillen out there. Big bucket by McCollum. He's got 15 points. Trish, tough shot. Whistle comes. Burrell doesn't like it.
And this all started because great defense the other end, but a nice pass. John Gillen's going to drive it, and then nobody picks up James Sutherland, young man from Cardozo High School in Queens. And then Jen pointed out that they wanted to slow down Eric McCollum, and they have to this point, but can't let up on him.
I should have called it out here. You just
So here's Brandon Trish, Syracuse class of 2013. He is perfect from the free throw line in TBT play this season this summer. He's the guy who, with that injured finger, hit the game-winning shot late in the Super 16. If not for that, Boeheim's Army might not be here.
Where's DJ Kennedy? Where's he working? He's got a flash to the middle.
Which is what he's just done.
Yep.
And there's the ball into him. That spreads things out, gives Kane a clean look.
Tell you what, DeAndre Kane, he's doing a little bit of everything. His defense has been superb. He's going to go play for Maccabi Tel Aviv this year, a historic team.
How about this line, Fran? 7 assists, no turnovers for Kennedy.
Yep. And not a lot of points, Doug.
Nope.
Quiet.
Sutherland strong to the basket again, and Burrell picks up another foul.
Good ball movement again. We talked about getting DJ in the middle. And he finds his former high school teammate, the All-American from Iowa State, who had a terrific final season for Fred Hoiberg. Played on some really good Cyclone teams.
One.
That was foul number 4 on Burrell.
All right, now we saw this last week. First time we've seen a lot of three-quarter court pressure now. It rattled Team FOE about 10 days ago. Let's see if it rattles Overseas Elite.
Kyle Fogg back into the game for Overseas Elite. Gillen pokes it away from behind. And he goes right around Kennedy. Lost it, but it went off the face or chin of McCollum out of bounds. Boeheim's Army catches a break.
Stack. Go back.
Into Trish. Sutherland. McCollum in a tough spot, gets it back out to Kennedy. Team fouls have been reset.
Nice.
Bullet inside, and Kane will shoot 2.
I'm watching Justin Burrell, and you know what I was thinking that last play? I wonder if he flew back from Japan in business class or coach.
He better have flown back in business class.
Because he looked pretty spry tonight.
He's a big guy.
For a guy that's been flying halfway around the world to get that passport. Japan, Korea, China starting to pay really good money for professional players.
Visit thetournament.com for more information on this year's teams and how you can enter a team for next year's Field of 64. Fair on his back, and Boeheim's Army has to burn a timeout. That leaves them with just 1 remaining and 8 minutes on the clock. So we'll take the break with them.
Who's going to make the big plays? Doug Sherman. James Sutherland might. DeAndre Kane might. But the coach is saying, no! No, I've already spent that $2 million.
We're setting the screen here with John or whoever, with DeShante. It's too clustered. You got one dude here, another dude like here. You got to space out. Run to the corners so they have more room to operate. You get to the basket, make it, or dish it. It's as simple. You can't come down where everybody's cluttered. There's no
TBT
spacing.
is brought to you by Visit Baltimore. Explore more. TBT is brought to you by Visit Baltimore. Explore more. Plan your next vacation at baltimore.org. The state of Maryland. We are open for business. And Maryland Sports, the go-to resource for sports in Maryland.
Going here, dribble over, you're just going down short corner, going to get James, and you roll back to the basket. Hey, when we're coming in transition, if we're setting the screen here with John or whoever, with DeShante, it's too clustered. We got one dude here, another dude like here. You got to space out, run to the corners so they have more room to operate. You get to the basket, make it or dish it. It's as simple. You can't come down where everybody's cluttered. There's no spacing. He made a good extra pass. That's what we haven't been doing. Move the ball. Come on.
Our good friend Rick Majerus used to say, offense is spacing and spacing is offense. And that's exactly what Ryan Blackwell was trying to explain in that last time out. Spread out so that one defender can't guard his man and your man.
Ryan Blackwell's a very highly accomplished varsity basketball coach in upstate New York, just outside of Syracuse and Liverpool. A Class AA school, that's the largest classification in the state of New York. 12 on the shot clock. Riley sets the screen. Here goes Gillen. Back out to Fair. Kane did a terrific job of closing out.
I'll tell you what, he has been unsung on the defensive end. That's something I never said when he played at Iowa State, I can assure you.
Fogg. That would have been huge. Instead, Riley pulls it down. Boeheim's Army still down 7.
I remember DeAndre Kane had some memorable battles with Marcus Smart. Talk about two tough guys.
Of course, at Oklahoma State, now the Boston Celtics. Sutherland trying to heat up again. Fair. He can't get the roll. Trish fights for it. And Boeheim's Army will keep possession.
That was one of those possessions where in college you'd have had 4 or 5 fouls called on that one play.
Don't sit down on me down there.
Nobody
Don't
really
sit
got
down
an
on me.
advantage, and officials let him play. Good officiating.
Under 7 minutes left in this second semifinal of TBT. Fair spins. Tough shot, and he gets the foul call against Kennedy. Our Wednesday night baseball matchup this week is the series finale between the Sox and Indians in Fenway. Only 2 months left in the baseball regular season, Fran. 7 o'clock Eastern ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app. The telecast presented by Hankook Tire.
A lot of moves at the trade deadline. LA Dodgers, the rich get richer, getting Yu Darvish from the Rangers.
The Yankees got Sonny Gray. That was the other real big one.
Chaz Palminteri welcomed him to the Bronx as one Sonny to another. Of course, he played the part in the Bronx Tale. 2-3 zone. Riley in the middle. DJ Kennedy's in the middle.
Here is Kennedy. Nearly another assist for him. The ball tapped out of bounds. Overseas Elite's going to have it.
These are 3 big-time college officials. These are NCAA tournament type officials. Earl Walton's out there. Jeff Clark. Our guy, Mr. Armstrong. These are like the guys you had in your rec center when you were a kid. They wouldn't let any nonsense go on, you know?
And the players seem to understand that.
Yes, very much so.
Kennedy from the high post.
That's
2
good.
more.
Hey, this is a clinic on attacking the zone, but you have to have skill. And he's got skill. It's not easy to do what he's doing against that zone.
That's a foul.
There's a reason Jim Boeheim's won 1,000 games with this defense, but if you have skill in the middle, you can make these kind of plays. I don't care what defense you're in.
6 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists for Kennedy. And he does now have 1 turnover. Lafayette checks back in.
And Doug, I've said this to you a number of times. In watching Boeheim's Army, it's a little harder to zone these professional team players because they're much better players than they were in college when, you know, Syracuse was kicking people's butt with the zone. They shoot it better, they move the ball better.
Tough shot for Trish. You can hit the ball up on the rim. It's okay what just occurred.
That's right. It's a hybrid set of rules, and that's a FIBA rule that's been incorporated into TBT hoops. And remember, all these guys are used to that rule because they play overseas.
And there's the rule for you written out. Once the ball strikes the rim, anybody can play the ball. Burrell. Trying to find Sutherland to see if he can get going. Dievendorf back into the game for Boeheim's Army.
Yeah, smart move by Oliver Lafayette. He's a point guard. He's been in the Euro League for a while, playing at the highest level in Europe.
Kennedy.
How about DJ Kennedy?
Wow.
Now, you ask yourself, can he play in the NBA? The answer is yes. Problem is, you got to pay him what he makes overseas.
Well, for a moment, Overseas Elite had its largest lead at 10, but cut back down to 7 thanks to Dievendorf's triple.
You know, it's such a great point, Doug. It's felt like all night Overseas Elite was going to run away with it. And Boeheim's Army is 2 stops away and a couple buckets of making this a real ball game.
McCollum's runner, well short. Fight for the ball. Once again, it's number 17 in white in the middle for Overseas Elite.
Watch DJ Kennedy. He is the best player to play in TBT basketball. And he is just murder in the high post because he's skilled. He can shoot it, he can pass it, he can rebound it. And then Eric Dievendorf, he hasn't lost a step. Money.
And so this will send David John Kennedy to the free throw line. His father of the same name, David Huff Kennedy.
Yep.
Played at Cincinnati back in the day.
You know, back in the day, sadly for me, was my day. You know?
You're not that much older than me, Frank.
I know.
It's pretty good.
They're like, you know, they're just winning numbers. Without looking at the stats, you'd say that he's dominated the game tonight.
No question.
These St. John's guys were brought to Jamaica by Norm Roberts. Now the Kansas assistant. He did a good job.
Kennedy has the last 6 points for Overseas Elite. Dievendorf. We heard Coach Blackwell talking about spacing on the offensive end. Good look by Riley. Cooney off the bench with a chance for 3. Well, we have sensed over the last 4 or 5 minutes, Boeheim's Army just keeps looking for somebody to spark them. Maybe it'll be Cooney.
Maybe, but watch the pass from DeShante Riley. Cooney's in the house, banking it in.
James here. Dribble him over. He's going down.
We're playing basketball, all right? Make sure we get that ball in the high post. DJ, we're riding you, all right? You do what you do, okay? Wait for a little bit, okay? Once we stretch it, well, we got to play basketball now. There's no holding this basketball now. We cannot do that. We take the air out of the ball, that's exactly what they want us to do, all right? It's all about stops right now, okay? All about stops. We get 3 in a row, we're going to be in a really good spot right now. We need 3 stops in a row, and we're going to be in a really good spot, all right? Play defense without fouling, all right?
Over the limit. Hey, rebound the ball. If you want to walk the minute, let us know. You got fresh legs.
Now, we're riding with these guys right now, all right? We're riding with you.
Let's go, man, let's go.
Listen, we're in the boat. Wait for a little bit, okay? Once we stretch it, well, we got to play basketball now. There's no holding this basketball now. We cannot do that. We take the air out of the ball. Defense without fouling, all right?
Over the limit. Hey, rebound the ball. If you want to walk the minute, let us know. You got fresh legs.
Now, we're riding with these guys right now, all right? We're riding with you.
Let's go, man, let's go.
Listen, we're in the bonus. We're in the bonus. Any drives, be strong with the ball. We are in the bonus, all right?
We're not.
We will be.
They are. They in the bonus. They in the bonus.
My bad. I got it wrong.
Well, DJ Kennedy, once again, kind of like deja vu all over again, because he's trying to get a 3rd TBT title, and he's doing it the exact same way. He's always done it with his versatility, and tonight that versatility has been destructive versus the Boeheim's Army 2-3 zone.
Fran, I've got a couple of questions for you as Trevor Cooney completes the 3-point play. We heard Colin Curtin reference the team fouls. This could come into play here over the final 3:50. Boeheim's Army will be in the bonus with the next foul. Meanwhile, if they need to give up a foul to get to the 5-foul team limit, they may have to give a couple up to stop the ball.
Exactly right, but in the meantime, it allows them to be really aggressive. And if they do foul, they're okay.
Go get it. All right, here we go.
Devendorf, Sutherland, Riley, Cooney, and Fair, the 5 on the floor for Boeheim's Army. This is Devendorf, absorbs that contact and finishes.
How about that left hand?
21 points for the 30-year-old out of Bay City, Michigan.
Can we see heroics? 2 games in a row from Boeheim's Army.
Better job defensively to bottle up Kennedy that time.
That's right. I said to you during that last timeout, if you're Colin Curtin, you want that ball to go into the high post, but you have to keep Kennedy from killing you in there if you're Boeheim's Army.
Shot clock at 15 with the inbound, now under 3 minutes in regulation. Fogg and McCollum in the backcourt along with Kane. Burrell sets the screen.
That's why he's a pro. That's why he'll make 7 figures this year.
18 points for Eric McCollum. He is 5 of 7 from outside the 3-point line.
Good job, D. Good job, D.
Coming up next, Sports Center with SVP. Scott Van Pelt finally back from vacation. Good to see SVP in the big chair again.
Yeah, And he knows a little bit about Baltimore.
Yeah.
Be more, Charm City.
You know he's paying attention.
Maryland grad.
They're taking another look to see if indeed that was a three-point shot, as it was called on the floor by Eric McCollum.
If you don't have it, Rick's coming back to get you.
Now from that angle, without my glasses, that looks good.
Here, I'll give you my glasses. It's more important that you see that than I do. So the three stands. Score remains 72-65.
I'll tell you what, how about, I thought DeAndre Kane was going to guard Devendorf for a second, and he might be.
And if Boeheim's Army goes to the line, it has been the best of the four semifinalists at shooting free throws in TBT this year. Cooney, bounce it off. Jackson.
Oh, Rick Jackson, that's a heartbreaker. That ball was up and on the rim, and they knocked it off. I was looking forward to that Kane-Devendorf matchup.
You know, we talk about the watch parties back in central New York for Boeheim's Army. There's a watch party down on the Jersey Shore, and they're not rooting for Syracuse. They're rooting for overseas elite. At Sea Isle Yacht Club, Tim Morrison, the general manager's brother, is hosting a watch party, rooting hard for a potential three-peat. Under 2 minutes to go in this semifinal.
Good pass.
Cooney for three.
Well, that's great ball movement. And now this becomes a critical stop. Can you make it a one-possession game with a stop and a score?
McCollum. There's the stop. And they give it back. Kane with the steal.
DeAndre Kane has made so many big defensive plays tonight.
There, Cooney gives up the foul with 1:16 to go. That's just the third team foul against Boeheim's Army. You don't start shooting fouls until, as a team, you get to 5.
There's that ball movement we talked about. Trevor Cooney is giving him a big lift. Can't leave him open. He knows. Colin Curtin knows. So right now, if you're Ryan Blackwell, you think about trying to steal it quickly and foul right away again. And there it is. I like it. It's good strategy. Get to the bonus.
Yep. Keep in mind, no 1-and-1s. You go straight to a two-shot foul.
I'm not sure
on the next foul.
Yeah, and I'm not sure on this possession with 1:15. I wouldn't try to get a stop.
I agree with you.
Because you'll get it back, you know, with 45, score, cut it to one possession, press and foul.
And that's exactly what Blackwell just yelled from the bench, no foul.
I like it, but at least now they're in the bonus when they need to.
1 minute. Burrell sets another big screen. It helps to free Kane for three. He's got it! Devendorf. And a chance for three.
Eric Devendorf trying to make a little cash overseas. But DeAndre Kane, the All-American out of Iowa State. We talked about the defense, but it's been the offense. And he's Bay City rolling. Eric Devendorf to the back. He's banking it, but will he cash the check on Thursday?
I like it. Boeheim's Army now 17 for 20 from the line tonight. Without that free throw shooting, this game would have been over a while ago.
It's 23. This fucking always 23. Always 23. We're just talking out of it. Hey. Yeah, I know.
We got to put pressure on the ball. We're going 12. If we can get the trap, we can get the trap in the corners right away. Fine. We can trap. Even after about 10 seconds.
They're going to have to foul us. All right? They're going to have to foul us. No. Because we need someone to get rebounds. When we go on defense, I'll get it going. Okay? All right? Yeah. You get it out. I want you two to work together, okay? All right, let's go. We got one timeout. One timeout. You two work together. Stay deep, all right? We're getting out of bounds. Let's go.
I tell you what, Fran, if Boeheim's Army does indeed go to try and commit the foul here, they should look for DeAndre Kane if he comes out. He's the poor free throw shooter out of the bunch.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do. You heard him say we'll go 12 defense, but they can't set up the full court press. They were going to press full court, but because of the timeout, you get to advance the ball.
And so now Kennedy happy to work some clock in the backcourt.
Got to foul. You have to foul. There it is.
And smart by Overseas Elite to make Kane your inbounder so they couldn't foul him with the ball.
Hey, Kane.
Hey, stay.
Stay behind the three.
He's now 4 for 7 from the foul line. McCollum and Lafayette back in. Burrell goes out.
And John Gillen back in to provide some speed, some outside shooting. Looks like Ryan Blackwell's put 4 3-point shooters on the floor.
1 through 5. 1 through 5. No. Back. 1 through 5.
Dangerous pass. Boeheim's Army keeps it, at least for now.
Hold on.
They'll go to the monitor, Doug.
Chill out. We got you.
So Overseas Elite is trying to steal this call. Let's watch.
I don't know.
And we're showing it on the board in the arena. So the Overseas Elite already thinks they have the basketball.
And I don't disagree with him.
Jeffrey.
They bring Jeff Anderson over to try and maybe break the tie between the three officials.
Yep.
Just to reaffirm.
That's close.
Boy.
That's really close. If I had to guess, and it's a guess, Jackson hits it last. But
No.
Is it definitive enough to overturn?
I don't think
the call on the
that's
floor?
going to be the question.
Yeah.
Come here. Yo. I'm going to tell you this. I don't think it's enough to fucking turn the goddamn phone. What you got?
I got it on off fucking red all day. Shit.
Let's go the other way. Let's go. Red ball.
You want to switch? Like, well, hell yeah. You don't think so? Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I'm not sure how much our audience got of that conversation because we had to bleep a few words, but you get what the decision was made. So now Boeheim's Army is going to have to pull out some sort of miracle if they're going to end this unbeaten run by Overseas Elite.
And they're there.
Listen, guys, DJ, go deep again. All right? You and Kyle work together. All right? No timeouts. We're done with timeouts. All right? I took it so we can advance it. All right? Get the ball in.
Get in jump ball because we got the ball.
Yeah.
Right away. That's it. Go for the ball. Go for the steal. Foul right away. Yeah. Overturn call. That's all.
We watch it on the monitor, man. We got to go watch on the monitor. You good? You good?
Now the smart play there was that Colin Curtin took the timeout and advanced the ball.
We'll let him in. We'll let him in. Yeah, I know. We'll let him in. Take one step back from the front. Hey, why don't you go on the other side of that table? There you go, right there.
Sutherland gives the foul immediately that will send Oliver Lafayette, the 33-year-old from Baton Rouge, to the line shooting 2.
It was bang bang.
You're right. It was a tough play, right? But when you go and you look at it on the monitor, he tips it, and it goes out on his hand. You know what I mean? It's tough. I mean, the film don't lie. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Don't forget, Thursday, 7 o'clock, we'll have the championship of the basketball tournament for $2 million. Second place gets a handshake and thanks for coming. Every single player who has gotten into tonight's game has now scored with that free throw from Lafayette. Gillen.
No timeout, so they've got to press and foul.
Still a ball game, down 4, but again, Boeheim's Army needs a little bit of help from overseas elite here.
Exactly.
And based on their track record, you don't expect overseas elite to give them that. You're not going to speed them up. You're not going to force them to do things they don't want to do.
And this is a guy who has been deadly from the line throughout his professional career. Young man grew up in Southern California, played at Arizona, all Pac-12 as a senior.
Shot clock off, final 20 seconds of regulation. Trish for 3. Cooney crashes the glass and earns a trip to the line.
Yep, the Delaware product, Trevor Cooney, has given Ryan Blackwell a nice second half tonight.
Well, Trevor Cooney said when he was growing up in Delaware, Fran, he used to idolize Eric Dievendorf and the Orangemen at the time. He used to watch him, and now because of this format, he's able to play with some of the guys who he followed to the Carrier Dome.
That's the beautiful thing about this this tournament, these alumni teams. It's not just the guys you played with.
Burrell in, McCollum out. Team Challenge ALS won the first semifinal in 2 overtime. And it looks like they'll get their opportunity to stop this overseas elite machine. It's a 5-point game. Kennedy gets rid of the ball. And then Dievendorf commits the foul that'll send Fogg to the line. Dievendorf is fouled out with 22 points.
Kind of looked like the same old Eric Dievendorf tonight, right?
Sure did. He's 30 years young.
Well, if you come at the king, you better not miss.
Well, this has been progress for Boeheim's Army in its 3rd year in TBT, advancing farther than it had before, last year out in the Super 16. Tonight, though, they ran into the best team in TBT history. Cooney hits the 3. Kennedy fouled with 4.9 to go.
This is the reality of a loss in the TBT. You're seeing it right here. We talk about reality TV. It's going to start to set in here any moment that the $2 million is going down the drain.
Kennedy missed them both. Down 4, timeout. Well, it's not inconceivable. You could make a three-point shot and get fouled. We've seen it once tonight. We've seen one 4-point play, but again, I don't see Overseas Elite making that kind of mistake in this situation.
Well, if they do, it would be a bad one, because right now, what you want to do is pretty much keep the ball from, just stay in front of your man and don't go near him when he rises up to shoot.
There's some.
If they hit a 3, it's a 1-point game.
If this were during a college season,
I
would throw it to the rim and get a short 2, and try to foul immediately and try to do it again.
But the quick 2.
Just not enough time, and they're out of timeout.
Yo, everything is a switch.
Switch 1 through 5.
Our first game winner tonight.
Okay, and then pop. Let's go.
Has already had the honor of filling out their big bracket.
Hey, take him that way.
Team Challenge ALS awaits the winner of this one in the Thursday night 7 o'clock championship with $2 million on the line. So Gillen will be the trigger man for Boeheim's Army.
Not really.
So McCollum gets called for the delay of game warning. Trish for 3. And Overseas Elite still has an opportunity to put $2 more million in their pocket.
Good job, man. Good job. Good job, Rob. Good job. Good job. Good job, John. Good job, Kev. Good job,
McCollum with 18 points leads the way on offense, along with DJ Kennedy, who was brilliant throughout. 11 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, took care of the basketball, and so Overseas Elite has moved on to the championship game on Thursday. 81-77 your final score. We'll be right back to Baltimore.
Until Thursday night, everybody, thanks for your support of TBT 2017. Please arrive home safely.
I'm putting 3s up. That's what I'm going for. Put them 3s up. Paul, we're going to keep you off the bench, Colin. Nah, we got to put 3s right off the bench. Come on, we go.
Let's go, y'all.
One more way.
Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt is moments away. We have our championship matchup set, Fran Fraschilla, for Thursday night.
A battle for $2 million.
Our final score in semi number 2, 81-77 over Seas Elite. Tune in Thursday, 7 o'clock for the championship game. So long from Baltimore. Sports Center is next. Take it away, SVP.